Hi, Wycliffe Barrett here, Xplane dedicated. We're filming in 4K today. No, I haven't got an iPhone 6. This is my HTC One M9. I've been able to film in 4K for ages. See you after the trailer.
Dublin, November 180 Bravo Bravo with it.
November 180 Bravo Bravo, good afternoon to you. Report your altitude.
2,000 feet on 1014 Bravo Bravo.
Bravo Bravo, descending for 60, so climb not above, initially not above 4,000 feet on the QNH 1014.
4,000 feet, Bravo Bravo.
Correct, what's your requested routing?
Let's go and then direct.
Departure 1 ready, cleared direct, let's go.
Beautiful day today here in Cardiff, and the sun is shining. It's really nice morning. Want to do a quick vlog, quite a lot to talk about, and first up of course is Xplane itself. Since last week we had Xplane 1040, then we had 1041, 1042, and now we're on 1043 release candidate. Seems as though there have been a number of issues with the 1040 kind of release phase, and a number of people have been reporting different things. Loss of frame rates, aircraft crashing out, etc, etc. I did a flight yesterday from Sochi in Russia, great, to Birmingham. I was bringing some Formula 1 teams back, and everything was fine until I wandered into UK airspace, and I was just hitting the northeast coast and Xplane crashed, and no explanation in the log text. So and also someone else who was flying in Xplane, a similar thing, got to the North Sea and crashed out, also after flying from Russia. So there's a few problems with 1040, the 1040 run, which is a bit of a shame because it looked as though it was going to be released as a complete package, and something happened. Anyway, I think what we need to do is keep an eye on 1040. If you've got a stable 1036, stay with that, because not only is it stable, but with the 1040 run at the moment, some aircraft will not work. The Boeing 757, for example, as soon as you turn it on, it comes up as XP bases not supported. So I would hang on a little while. So that's Xplane 10, but on the good side, there is still some absolutely stunning stuff. Khamsin Studios, they've got a huge discount sale on at the moment, and Khamsin Studios on Xplane.org, they create some incredible aircraft. They're really highly detailed. And just to mention a couple of them, there's the Grumman HU-16 Albatross, which is a float plane, but it's absolutely beautifully put together. The external modelling is superb. Interior modelling is brilliant. Along the same lines, of course, is the North American B-25 Mitchell, which is a World War II aircraft and was used in a very famous raid by the Americans. I won't mention that because I don't want to offend anybody, but other than a very famous raid, there was a film made about it. The B-25 Mitchell is a really awkward aircraft to fly. It's a three-wheeler, so you've got a nose wheel and a main undercarriage, so it's not a tail dragger, but it's got twin tails at the back, and it's incredibly unstable, especially as you come into land. You come into land with a crosswind landing, you'll know about it. But once again, this plane has been put together superbly. A lot of love and care has been put on this aircraft, and the internal modelling is unbelievable. You can wander through the cockpit, you can wander through the gun emplacements, right through the fuselage to the tail gunner emplacement. You can set up, there are a number of custom views already set up on it. You can set up your own custom views, you can zoom from the tail gun right into the cockpit. It's brilliant. It's really well realised, and the sound pack is superb. Absolutely one of the best sound packs I've heard in a long time. But it's a military aircraft. It's World War II, but it's really good. Finally, from Khamsin Studios, another one of their aircraft is the DHC-1 Chipmunk, the old Chippy. If you like general aviation and you like looking out of the window to see where you are, then you should get the Chippy. Absolutely superb. So that's Khamsin Studio. They've got huge discounts. I'll put some pictures here dotted through the video as we talk, and I suggest you go and have a look on Xplane.org at Khamsin Studios. Recommend them. well worth the money, good value. Every aircraft I've had from these guys works straight from the download. I don't think I've ever had a patch for any of them, so they always work. They're beta tested to their max. I'd like to talk about something before I move on to some other things that's been bothering me for a while, and I've never really known how to explain this or talk about this, but quite simply put, I often get lots of requests from users, members, people who on YouTube. I get lots of requests to review certain products. When I started Xplane Dedicated, my remit was that I would review stuff that I buy, or that I purchase, yeah. But the cost of trying to purchase things is really becoming too much for me to bear. So I was asked if I would review World Traffic 2.0 by a user, and because I fly online, World Traffic 2.0 is not something that I would invest in, because I always fly online regardless as to whether there's any ATC about or not. Flying offline seems to defeat the object for me. Anyway, because of that, I really don't have a need for World Traffic 2.0, but I can understand how some people might want it reviewed. So I'm at a point where the money, or should I say the expenditure on Xplane Dedicated, is rising. I bought, like today, I'm using a new desktop tripod here. I bought a lavalier microphone that doesn't work with the phone. I buy products for myself, for my own use, such as the throttle handles, which you just see that there? Yeah, there's the flap handle. So I buy products for my own use, and therefore I review those. And that's why in the blogs you'll find that I'm talking about lots of freeware, because the freeware market of Xplane is so good, but the payware market is also getting good. So I'm in a bit of a quandary. To continue giving you a good service, I've got to spend money, and that's okay, but I'm not a millionaire. So at some point or another I'm going to have to say that's it, that I cannot keep buying product and not using it. Okay, I'm a beta tester, and you can see I'm beta testing the X737 from EADT here with the new virtual cockpit. I beta test a lot of other stuff, but there is lots of stuff that I don't get. And if I don't get it, I don't get it. So, you know, we're in a bit of a bind, and I'm trying to figure out what to do, because I've always said that Xplane Dedicated will be free to the end user, which is you. So you know, you don't have to. There's no donate buttons. I don't ask for money from anybody. Some people, some developers, some manufacturers, they will reach out to me. They will ask me to test something, or you know, their product. I'm not Bell Ends. Let's be clear about this. I'm not Bell Ends. I haven't got thousands of viewers. I am not Frugal, who's got thousands of viewers and members. I'm just little old me, Xplane Dedicated. So we'll have to see. But I'm just kind of putting it out there that sometimes I can't review everything, as I can't afford to buy everything. Okay. World to Xplane. World to Xplane is absolutely fantastic. Now this was a package that came out probably about 6 to 8 months ago, and when it first came out it caused no end of problems in terms of loss of frame rates. World to Xplane Great Britain Pro scenery places every building, every road, street, avenue, crescent, street light in the correct place in the UK. And this means you get a heck of a lot of buildings, a lot of houses, new forests, new trees everywhere. It's superb, but when it first came out, it was a real frame rate hit. People were really suffering, and that's not good. Anyway, it's been re-released. The guy who produced this, Tony Wobb, has put it together again. I think he's re-optimized it because the frame rate hit is not quite as bad. Okay, it's not quite as bad. I've flying around Birmingham. I'm still getting kind of 30 frames per second, which is, you know, way lower than my 45, 50 frames per second. 30 frames per second is more than manageable, and everything looks great. It really, really is superb. It makes a heck of a difference in terms of VFR flying. I put some pictures up the other evening that were taken flying into Cardiff from the west, you know, going past Wenvoe Mast, and I had obviously RTH lighting sorted out that I, you know, adjusted myself, my settings, and the pictures were staggering. It did look absolutely breathtaking as I flew into Cardiff at dusk. I'll put those pictures in the video here now, and you can have a look. You can download it, it's free. Okay, so it's Great Britain GB Pro scenery. You get it from the World to Xplane site, but you also need to download the World model set. And what the World model set does, it gives us grey roofs, grey slate roofs, and black roofs, as well as a few red roofs. Whereas the default building set in Xplane gives us just red roofs everywhere, as if we were living in the Mediterranean, and we're not. So grey slate roofs, also terraced houses, looks really, really good. I recommend that. But you've got to have a lot of RAM, and you also need a lot of VRAM as well. So, you know, be very clear about this. You know, if you've got 8 gig of RAM or 4 gig of RAM, and, you know, a 2 gig graphics card, you're going to struggle. You're going to have to turn your settings way down, because, you know, as soon as you start piling all this stuff in, you know, we can kill Xplane, no trouble at all. All right, run out of memory. Moving on. Multi-crew experience, which is like Xplane's FS2 crew. It's had an update. I haven't used it for a long time. I put it on this morning, and even though it was the update, because Xplane is in beta and the 757 doesn't support betas, it just wasn't working. Not at all. It was working, but not at all well. So that isn't a problem with MCE, multi-crew experience. That is a problem with XP1040 and the fact that it's a beta. So that XP1040 run phase is not as good as it could be. Especially when Laminar was thinking that XP1040 release was going to be a full release, and we're now on 1043, as I said earlier. Okay, so MCE multi-crew experience. Have a look at the video. This is payware, it's not freeware. Have a look at the video on their site and see what you think. Some people don't like the way that the speech synthesis comes through. But as an immersion factor, it's actually really quite good. And if you ever used FS2 Crew on the other simulator, you'll know what I mean. I talked about Khamsin Studios earlier on and the discounts. There are a number of other developers who've got some discounts on, and I just mentioned them by name. I'll put links either in the video here, or I'll put links in the description. Probably I'll do both. So Alabeo, they've got a sale on at the moment. That's 40, but they've got 40% off their aircraft. Alabeo, really good GA aircraft, and with a 40% discount, that kind of makes it worth buying. And maybe we're having all these discounts because it's just coming up before Christmas, and people, you know, want to keep hold of their money for Christmas. Time for a bit of freeware, I think. And a beautiful little airport in southwest Greece, LGKC. Is called Kytheria Airport. Kytheria Airport, and it's in the southwest of Greece. Very, very pretty. I can probably, you know, get 737s in quite easily in the Airbus A320. And the reason why I've chosen this one is obviously I lived in Corfu for a long time, and I love Greece, and I really do love Greece. I love the food, I love the people, and I love the country. And that's why I chose this airport. When I saw it, I thought, I like this one, I want this. So, Lima Golf Kilo Charlie, Southwest Greece, Kytheria Airport. It's just a regional airport, but it's lovely. And I'll put a link in the video here. I'll put it in the description, and just get it. It's free. You know, and freeware is the thing, is it not? Freeware is the thing. Okay, I think that's about it from me. Sorry about the bit about cost, etc. But you know, I've got to do a cost-benefit analysis of things. And once again, as far as I can see, Xplane Dedicated will remain free to the end user. You. As for the YouTube channel and Twitch, I've got to think about these things because it's costing more and more money. All right, you know, just to buy a polo shirt like this, you know, it's £15–20. Anyway, this is Wycliffe Barrett. Cheerio.
Dublin, November 180 Bravo Bravo with it.
November 180 Bravo Bravo, good afternoon to you. Report your altitude.
2,000 feet on 1014 Bravo Bravo.
Bravo Bravo, descending for 60, so climb not above, initially not above 4,000 feet on the QNH 1014.
4,000 feet, Bravo Bravo.
Correct, what's your requested routing?